Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, for 1 year as we read through St. Faustina's diary. Join me, Amy Thomas, each day for a short reading out of the diary which brought us a deeper understanding of Christ's divine mercy. Hello, all you Catholic pilgrims out there. Welcome to day 10 of our readings through the diary of St. Faustina. Today, we are going to be reading from Notebook 1, starting at number 26 through 28. Now, the first paragraph, I want to just kind of give you a heads up. It's kind of just a mishmash of her thoughts, so it doesn't really flow or make a ton of sense. It's just like she's just scribbling, writing down, doing kind of like a brain dump. And most of what we're going to read today is just kind of jumping around. So there's not a lot of continuity or flow to it, but still important to read. So we're going to get started here at number 26. End of the novitiate. The suffering does not diminish. Physical weakness dispenses me from all community spiritual exercises. That is to say, they are replaced by brief ejaculatory prayers. Good Friday, April 16th, 1928. Jesus catches up my heart into the very flame of his love. This was during the evening adoration. All of a sudden, the divine presence invaded me, and I forgot everything else. Jesus gave me to understand how much he had suffered for me. This lasted a very short time, an intense yearning, a longing to love God. First vows. First profession of temporary vows, April 30th, 1928. An ardent desire to empty myself for God by an act of love, but a love that would be imperceptible even to the sisters closest to me. However, even after the vows, darkness continued to reign in my soul for almost a half a year. Once, when I was praying, Jesus pervaded all my soul. Darkness melted away, and I heard these words within me. You are my joy, you are my heart's delight. From that moment, I felt the most holy Trinity in my heart, that is to say, within myself. I felt that I was inundated with the divine light. Since then, my soul has been in intimate communion with God, like a child with its beloved Father. Once Jesus told me, go to Mother Superior, probably Mother Raphael, and ask her to let you wear a hair shirt for 7 days, and once each night you are to get up and come to the chapel. I said yes, but I found a certain difficulty in actually going to the Superior. In the evening, Jesus asked me, how long will you put it off? I made up my mind to tell Mother Superior the very next time I would see her. The next day, before noon, I saw Mother Superior going to the refectory, and since the kitchen, refectory, and Sister Aloysia's little room are all close to each other, I asked Mother Superior to come into Sister Aloysia's room and told her of the wish of the Lord Jesus. At that, Mother answered, I will not permit you to wear any hair shirt, absolutely not. If the Lord Jesus were to give you the strength of a colossus, I would then permit those mortifications. I apologized for taking up Mother's time and left the room. At that very moment, I saw Jesus standing at the kitchen door, and I said to him, you commanded me to ask for these mortifications, but Mother Superior will not permit them. Jesus said, I was here during your conversation with the Superior and know everything. I don't demand mortification from you, but obedience. By obedience, you give great glory to me and gain merit for yourself. Okay, so a couple things I just want to clear up before we really get into what I wanted to focus on is the novitiate, what that exactly means, because I've read that word a couple times. So, maybe if you're kind of new to the religious life, the idea of the religious life, or if you're non-Catholic listening to this, I just wanted to clarify what that is. That is the beginner period for anybody who is looking to enter the religious life. So you go through a period of, being a novice, and then once you've done that kind of trial period, then you move on to take another set of vows. So I just wanted to clear that up. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about the hair shirt and what that actually means. So, because again, if you aren't familiar with that, maybe you're a new convert, or again, if you're not a Catholic and listening to this, you might be like, what is a hair shirt? So, a hair shirt is, we'll also see it called like a sackcloth. And what it is, especially during ancient times, we read about it in the Bible, people would put on sackcloths or hair shirts as a way of doing penance and trying to strengthen one's will. And so many believe that that's what St. John the Baptist was wearing, his loincloth, because they could either wear it as a shirt or as a loincloth, so wrapped around, the loin area. And it's a rough, hairy, not comfortable type of garment that you would wear in order to constantly be kind of irritated, kind of like having a rock in your shoe, in order to constantly remind yourself of sin and the desire to overcome sin. And it also is penance for any sins you have committed. Now, today, most people don't do this. A lot of people feel like it's kind of unsanitary. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it would kind of cut the skin. I don't know. There are a few, I think that one of the Carmelites wear them, and another order that will continue to, that still do wear them, but it is kind of a practice that has gone away. So anyway, the reason why people do mortifications, when we hear that word, we're like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? There are lots of ways that you can, there are lots of practices for mortification. One of them was wearing a hair shirt. Some saints would sleep on the hard floor. Some saints would, not wear any shoes on their feet. It's just a denial of self, denying yourself something to strengthen your will and to help you fight against sin. It's just that constant reminder of your need to fight against sin and strengthen yourself, so that when something really bad comes along that you don't have control over, you've already kind of put yourself through the test or the trial. And then also people do it as penance for sins, a way of offering some sacrifice to God for what they have done. We are not required to do it. Some people choose to do those types of things during Lent to unite their sacrifice with Christ, but it is not a requirement to make it into heaven. Now, what I really wanted to focus on, because we've been reading all these kind of very deep and dark and passages from her diary that, about hell and the torment that her soul is going through, I wanted to focus today on what Christ tells her when he comes into her heart. She's had all this darkness. She even says that this darkness continued to reign in her soul for almost a half year. That's a long time. But when she was praying one day, Jesus pervaded all my soul, and she got these wonderful words: "You are my joy. You are my heart's delight." Gosh, man, wouldn't that be just amazing to hear Christ say that to you? I mean, we know that he would, but just to hear his voice, I've often wondered exactly what Christ's voice sounds like. So I can only imagine how that would feel to actually hear those words spoken. And, I think in this fallen world, there are a lot of people who have been utterly rejected by, family, kids that don't feel like they are the joy and the delight of their parents' hearts, spouses who do not feel like they are the joy and delight of their spouses' hearts, parents who don't feel like their kids care or take any delight in them. There's all kinds of people out there who just don't feel like they're anybody's joy or anybody's delight. And that really causes us to kind of sink into ourselves. And, if you feel that way, I want you to hold on to the fact that even if you feel that nobody else in the world takes any delight in you, if nobody else in the world finds any joy in you, Jesus says these same exact things to you. Even to you. You are my joy and my delight. Even to the person who thinks of themselves as the worst sinner, you are still a joy and a delight to God. Never forget that. And if you forget it, just look at the crucifix. He did that because you are his joy and delight. He wanted to make a way for you to be with him in heaven. And it's something that, when all else in the world falls away and we feel very alone, we can go to the cross and be reminded of what Christ did specifically for each one of us because he loves us and we are a delight to him. So I just wanted to touch on that because I know a lot of people, I get private emails a lot of people who feel utterly alone and rejected and like nobody cares at all. But just look at a cross that was done for you. And, if in some small way that can help you realize the immensity of God's love for you, I hope that helps. Think of that, Catholic pilgrims. You are a joy and a delight, and that should make us feel wonderful. And I hope that you carry that with you through today and every day, honestly. Just think of that and read those words. How lucky she got to actually hear them from Christ, but we will too one day. So until next time, Catholic pilgrims, live the faith boldly and travel well.